Welcome back to Good Day Kentucky on ABC 36 News Now.
Hey folks, welcome back in with the first day of school just around the corner. And how in the world did that happen? But we're here. Many parents of young learners are wondering how to best prepare their child for preschool or kindergarten.
And joining us now is Eamonn Fitzgerald. He is with Fayette County Public Schools Early Childhood Liaison, and he is here to share some easy everyday tips that can help set your child up for success. And that sounds really good, Eamonn.
Yep, we need all the help we can
yes,
get.
we do.
That's right.
We need to pick
Parents
your brain.
are busy, parents are stressed, so this list is going to be well received.
Sure. You know, with school starting in a couple weeks, you know, one of the biggest things we tell families is just to establish some type of routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, and that could be a morning routine or an evening routine, and it may or may not include specific times, but this is what we do after dinner. This is what we do then. This is what we do before bed. And it just gets the kids kind of ready and geared up. And it also gets the parents, the families geared up to what to expect.
Back on track.
Kind of gets us back in.
We've let those traditions slide a little bit to the summer months.
And that's what it's for. Summer's for, to have fun and to kind of, recharge. But it also just, families get to kind of, this is what we're going to think about doing.
Yes.
And especially in the morning, just so you're not, you're running around trying to find this and that, is that this is what we do in the morning. This is what we do after we eat. This is what we do, once we get our stuff. And even just for new kindergartners, especially kids that are going to school for the first time, maybe going through what it's like to drop them off at school.
Yes,
maybe on the weekend, put the backpack on, go through the line, go through the line, just to so this is what we'll do.
Yes.
This is where you'll get out. A teacher will open the door, maybe, just so that it's not, because it's a huge new world. Even at a new job for adults, we like to know what's going to happen every day.
Yes.
Same thing with kids.
Yeah.
And even after we pick up the kids at the end of the day, or if they ride the bus, one of the things that I know that I had to kind of relearn is when I picked up my kids, I would just start peppering them with questions.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you make friends? What'd you eat? Did you have fun? Did you go outside?
Yeah.
And it's a little overwhelming for kids. Even as adults, we leave the office. We want a few minutes to kind of decompress.
That makes sense.
And so that's when you just you say, hey, I'm glad you're here. I hope you had a good day. And then maybe you ask them, when you're ready, tell me about something. So you'll notice that with kids especially, they'll want to talk when you're kind of not ready to talk. Like, so when it's time for bed, they want to tell you about their day.
Yeah.
And that's not because they want to stay up later, maybe a little bit, but a lot of it's because they feel comfortable. And they're relaxed. And so they feel comfortable telling you what their day was like.
Right.
And so that's when you'll get the full story versus the, I don't know. We went outside, we did stuff, and that happens a lot with middle schoolers and high schoolers.
It does.
And you'll find that like when they're comfortable, they'll talk.
Yeah.
And then you just give them the opportunity to.
All right.
Well, this is great advice. Let's talk about First 5 Lex and that resource.
Sure. First 5 Lex is really focused on kind of the birth to 5 families and anybody kind of that works with those children. And one of the things that we focus on are free and inexpensive ideas for families. We focus on read, talking, and playing. Reading aloud to kids is probably one of the best things that you can do for their educational journey. Even as they get older. We know some families that even, the kids are in our 5th grade or going into middle school, that they still kind of do a family read aloud. The books are now more difficult, but they still read aloud because there's a lot of things that go involved in that, not just learning the words, but also the kind of the social aspect of reading together.
Yes.
So.
And I mean, really, how important is it to really do all of these items and these things that are suggested to set the child up for success? How important is that?
Sure. So research shows that 90% of the brain is developed by the age of 5. And so what we focus on is we want to help the children kind of on their educational journey.
Yes.
So we think about it in terms of a tree. If the more we invest kind of early, that birth to 5 years, kind of the deeper those roots grow. The deeper those roots grow, the more chance that tree has a chance to grow and to flourish. That's not saying it won't grow and flourish, but it's way easier. So things like bad weather won't knock the tree over. So we focus on those first years just to make things easier for everybody.
Boy, it makes all the sense in the world. So these habits, these traditions, get them started early. And let that tree grow strong. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Best resource for our friends to tap into all these necessary skills.
Sure, and that's one of the nice things about Lexington and Fayette County is that there's so many great things. We really focus on birth to 5. we utilize our partners like the library. They've had so much programming during the summer that's free. And it's funny because, I think we grew up when, you whispered in the library. You didn't talk to anybody. You kind of got your stuff and went and sat down. But now the library is a place to engage and to be social with other kids that you may or may not see in school.
Yeah.
So it's a nice place for families to engage with each other and kids to engage with each other. The Lexington Children's Museum has been a wonderful place.
Oh, yes.
The former Explorium. But if you went there between, the 90s and the, 2020, it was about the same.
Yeah.
But the past, 4 or 5 years, it's changed completely.
It's
a great place for families to go to, and even older kids that might not want to, admit that they want to go there.
They like it too. Yes, we did a event there one time, and all the adults, we were having a blast, and all of the different
still
things
like
that
walking on the moon and jumping in the cockpit of the plane.
The paper airplanes, we were throwing those. It was fun.
Absolutely. Eamonn, thanks so much for all this. This is news you can use.
It really is.
Because it's going to be a big day here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And appreciate you helping us get prepped.
Very welcome.
Thank you for being here.
Good to see you. We're back after this. Stick around.
ABC 36 Community Spotlight is brought to you by CHI St. Joseph Health, caring for our community with human kindness.